Guys, do not forget to subscribe for the latest in boxing and raw boxing opinions. So Dillian Whyte recently came out and said he had a few words to say about what he thought about Tyson Fury, his performance against, Pineda last Saturday, and the fact that he called Deontay Wilder bum squad. Bum squad is a word that a lot of people label, because Deontay Wilder goes around saying bomb squad. He calls himself bomb squad. People change bomb squad to bum squad, and that started because Wilder's cherry picking, right? That's the reason people started saying bum squad, because I remember when I was back in 2013 when he was coming up, he was saying, because Wilder has been saying this bomb squad, phrase, war cry for years now. And I remember back in 2013, that's when I first started seeing that whole bum squad. People were writing in the comment sections. But yeah, that's basically a phrase they kind of hardcore boxing fans came up for Deontay Wilder because of his, shitty cherry picking. Now, Dillian Whyte seems a little bit annoyed that Tyson Fury is fighting and getting the chance to fight Deontay Wilder over him. And I understand why, because it really should be Dillian Whyte fighting Deontay Wilder, right? Because if we live in a equal, in a fair world, it should be Dillian Whyte who should be fighting, because Deontay Wilder, and challenging for the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the world, because he was the one who was the one constantly fighting. He was the one fighting for the past 3 years. He was the one who fought mandatories and beat mandatories to get himself in a position to fight for Wilder's World Championship belt. And during all this time, Fury was inactive. He wasn't fighting. He was just basically on the shelf gaining weight. He was retired. During this time, he was really retired, Fury. So rightfully so, Dillian Whyte should be upset. He should be annoyed. He should be, pissed off that Fury could come and just leapfrog him and face Deontay Wilder. Again, you guys saw my post-fight of when he beat Joseph Parker. I said he should fight. And the right thing would be if he were to fight Deontay Wilder over Tyson Fury. That's why I was annoyed when I first heard that Tyson Fury was going to face Deontay Wilder, or they were going to negotiate to face him. But, because I felt that it was Dillian Whyte should have taken that, should have rightfully had the had the opportunity to fight for Wilder instead of Tyson Fury. But of course, that's not gonna happen now. It seems like obviously Fury's gonna fight Wilder, but already you guys already know my opinion for Fury versus Wilder. I feel that that's more competitive than people think it is. I feel if Fury has a couple more fights, he, at least if he had another 6 months to prepare, he might possibly be a tougher challenge than Deontay Wilder. And I still believe that he could be a tougher challenge for Deontay Wilder than people think he is. I don't think he's gonna win. I'm not saying he's gonna win. Matter of fact, I expect him to lose. I expect him to get caught eventually with a right hand and lose. But still, I still think it's more competitive than people think. Dillian Whyte also said that he believed he could have knocked out Tyson Fury. If that was him last night, or not last night, but this last Saturday, instead of Pineda, do I agree with that? Yes and no. I think that if Fury stayed in the ropes, because against Pineda he was staying in the ropes a lot. I think if he stayed in the ropes like that against Dillian Whyte, and Dillian Whyte was able to land on him, I think he would have been able to hurt Fury. And yeah, if he was doing that against Dillian Whyte, that's when I see him being able to stop someone like Fury, because Fury is hittable when he's laying against the ropes. I don't think that's a good tactic for Fury to do. He better not do that against Deontay Wilder. He has to be moving against Deontay Wilder. But yeah, if he was doing that against someone like Dillian Whyte, I would agree with Dillian Whyte. But let's say he would, because I actually would have picked a prime Fury to beat Dillian Whyte, because the way to beat Dillian Whyte is to outbox him. That's how you beat him. So I actually would have picked a prime Fury. I'm talking about 2014, 2015 version of Fury to beat Tyson Fury. To beat Dillian Whyte. But this current version of Fury, I would be leaning on Dillian Whyte to beat him, and especially if he's leaning against the ropes. But so yeah, that's something I will agree and not agree with Dillian Whyte. But yeah, but what I do 100% agree with Whyte is he should have rightfully so fight for a world title a lot quicker and first than someone like Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury right now shouldn't really be challenging for any world title. Right now, Tyson Fury should be spending the next 12 months having at least 3 more fights. Like, that would have been ideal in my, if I was Tyson Fury, I think that would have been the best thing I think that's what he should have done. He should have, instead of rushing into a Deontay Wilder fight, I think the best thing he should have done is wait 12 months and fight 3 more tune-up fights against guys who are, legit, and guys who are actually trying to win the fights, and guys who are going to challenge him, guys who are going to come to try and knock his head off. I think that's what Tyson Fury should have done. Like, say he would have 1 more fight against a guy who was actually trying to win this November instead of fighting Wilder, and then, like, say in April he would have fought another guy who was legit and trying to win, and like say he gets past that dude, then like say he fought again against another dude who was legit and trying to win in sometime in July, and then like say he got the Wilder fight in November 2019 after fighting after winning against 3 fighters who actually came to win and pushed them to his limits. Then that would have been way more beneficial for someone like Fury, and I would feel way more confident talking, making predictions or letting you guys know my opinion on how I feel that fight between Fury and Deontay Wilder would be. That would have been ideal, if, like I said, I think a year from now, 12 months from now, it would be perfect for Fury, especially if he's active. If he's active, like I said, he'd be fighting another 3 times during these next 12 months. But I feel he might be rushed in right now. I think he's being rushed in against someone like Deontay Wilder, and this is why I think he's gonna lose. Like I said, I still believe he has the ability to win some rounds. I think he's gonna nick some rounds against Deontay Wilder. I think he might nick some rounds, actually win some rounds. He might even be ahead in the scorecards in the time of the stoppage. But I do ultimately expect Wilder to be able to land against Fury, because Wilder's a fast heavyweight, and I think he's quicker right now, and he's a lot more sharper right now than someone like Tyson Fury. So even though Fury is more talented, he has more skills, I think he's more rusty, while Deontay Wilder is more sharper. And what's going to happen is he's going to be able to get away with some rounds against Deontay Wilder, win some rounds, nick some rounds, have a lead up in the scorecards. But then Wilder's sharpness and his activity is going to play a factor, and he's going to be able to time Fury and land on him and hurt him. And when he hurts him, Deontay Wilder has always been a good finisher. That's one thing I like about Wilder. He's always been a good finisher. He's always, when he hurts a guy, he goes for broke. People call it windmilly. I've called it windmilly myself. He looks wild at times. He looks completely amateurish. But he does this when he hurts an opponent, and the thing is, a lot of times when he does stuff like this, where he goes absolutely crazy, he ends up knocking the dude out. Look at when he knocked out Luis Ortiz. He went crazy after Luis Ortiz, but the point is, he has killer instincts, and if he hurts his opponent, even if his opponent is better than him technically, when they're hurt, when they're queer street, it doesn't matter if he's going crazy and ape on them and trying to knock their head off, throwing windmills, because they're too, they're not there. They're too, their mind's like all blurry and shit, because it just, their equilibrium is off and shit. So it doesn't matter. So that's why even if Fury gets up and he knows Wilder's going crazy after him, especially if he gets hit like behind the head, his equilibrium will be there and he'll be stopped. That's why I predict it's gonna happen. I would have given right now Wilder more credit had he fought Dillian Whyte, because I think that would have been a way more competitive fight, and it would have been a really good, credible fight, credible win for him, because of the fact that Dillian Whyte just beat a former champion in Joseph Parker. So it would have been a really good victory for him if he would have beaten Dillian Whyte after Dillian Whyte just beat Joseph Parker, a former champion who was just champion earlier this year. That would have looked good for Wilder's resume, but he chose to fight Tyson Fury. So it is what it is. At the end of the day, unfortunately the boxing fans have no control over who fighters choose to fight. Because if we did, Wilder would be a legit heavyweight. He wouldn't have fought 25 bums, right? But unfortunately, we're just boxing fans. We just are the people that watch the fights. We support the fighters. We like watching the fights, but we have no control over the people they fight. This is why you have to blame the team, because it's really the team's fault. Wilder has a padded record because of his team. His team did this to Wilder's resume. So you always have to look at the team. The people who pick the fights for him. They're the people to blame. And Wilder himself and the fighter, because they also have a choice.